Welcome to our review videos. This is going to be the first video on here talking about a free response question. And it's dealing with what looks to be two sample means. So let's get started. What we're going to be doing today is, from the looks of it, we're going to be comparing 7th grade student homework times and 6th grade student homework times if you read the problem. If you haven't read the problem, let's just kind of take a look at what's going on. So we're talking about the principal at Crest Middle School, which enrolls only 6th grade students and 7th grade students, is interested in determining how much time at that school students at that school spend on homework each night. So we're trying to determine how much time students spend on homework each night. The table below shows the mean and standard deviation of the amount of time spent on homework each night in minutes for a random sample of 26th grade students and a separate random sample of 27th grade students. So I'm just going to jot on here that for both of these, n is going to be equal to 20. That's important when we make those calculations here. And let's keep reading through it. So here are the numbers. Based on the dot plots of these data, it is not unreasonable to assume that the distributions of times for each grade were approximately normally distributed. For that, that's basically our clue that we've met the normal condition, but we'll have to state that when we're checking our conditions. So I have a couple things I already filled out just to make the video go a little bit quicker. For the state part, you want to basically regurgitate some information talking about what we want to do. So our goal here is to estimate the true mean difference for, and I just said mu1 and mu1 minus mu2, and I called mu1 7th grade students and mu2 6th grade students. And I defined what that was. So I went over here and said, all right, well, that is the true difference in mean time spent, not spent, on homework in minutes between 7th grade and 6th grade students at Crest Middle School. And I did 7th minus 6th to show direction. And I picked that direction just to keep the interval positive. If you did it 6 minus 7th and you got a negative numbers, then just roll with that. For your plan part, you want to state your procedure. So this is your procedure. And our procedure is a 2 sample t interval because we are trying to estimate. Anytime we're trying to estimate, that's going to be an interval. And especially with that 95% confidence. But we also have 2 samples going on here. So we're trying to get that difference between them. When we're doing our conditions, we want to check the 3 conditions, the random, the 10%, and the approximately normal. Now, in this problem here, it states that in the problem, 20 separate independent random samples of 6th and 7th grade students were taken. So right up here, it says a random sample of 26th grade students and a separate random sample of 27th grade students. Now we have to assume that the 10% condition is met. So we're just going to state that it's reasonable to assume that 20 is less than 10% of all 6th grade and 7th grade students. And as far as the approximately normal condition, that's right here, right? And the problem says it's not unreasonable to assume the distribution of times for each grade were approximately normally distributed. So again, I'm just kind of restating that. The problem states that it is not unreasonable that the distributions are approximately normal. The rest of it is kind of just getting some numbers and making a conclusion. As far as the do part goes, we can use our calculator to get this. So we're going to use our stat tests, and we're going to find what appropriate interval we're going to use. And then in our conclude part, we're just going to basically say we are 95% confident that the interval from, and we'll have to figure out those 2 numbers, captures the true, and this part's going to say the parameter in context. So we'll kind of fill that part in. So let's go to our calculator and figure out this interval. This is going to be a 2 sample t interval. So go ahead and come at this with me. We're going to find 2 sample t interval. And we're going to go into stats. And we're going to enter our data in. So our stats going to have 20, we're going to do 47 first, and then 12.4. So 47, 12.4. And remember, that was a sample of 20. The other one was 27.3, 10.8. Also with the sample of 20, it says 95% confidence. Always keep it at not pooled, and we'll make our calculation. And this is really what we want to be able to include on this problem. So I'm just gonna cut and paste that. And let's talk about what's important to include on here. So based on this data here, we don't need to write all that down, because honestly, in the problem here, all the stuff below DF was already up in the table. So it seems to be a little bit redundant trying to write that. So what you will do is just state the interval and the degree of freedom. So you don't want to write the formula, if you're not going to use the formula, then we can just basically use the calculator version for the degree of freedom. And we'll say our interval is going to be from 12.252 and 27.148. Sorry about that mark there. Ignore that. And our degree of freedom is going to be 37.3. Now you'll notice on the answer key I posted, I have the whole formula posted on there, but you can get away with doing this. If you mention the degree of freedom using the calculator, this is going to be the more accurate degree of freedom, and it's going to be a little higher than if you did the conservative estimate. So it's going to give you a narrower interval, but we're still 95% confident with this degree of freedom. So it's okay to use that. And then from here, we're just going to basically restate that problem. So let me get rid of that real quick. We're 95% confident that the interval from 12.252 to 27.148 minutes captures the true difference in homework time between 7th and 6th grade students at Chris Middle School. And we were done. So I hope that was helpful. The next video will go on free response question number 2.